Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Javier with The Real Javier Novoa, a channel, a platform, and a modality where we apply the principles of philosophy, spirituality, mysticism, and business, and common sense to rapid lifestyle transformation. Happy Monday, ladies and gentlemen. It is Monday, and you do know what that means. That means that we usually get down to business. And we try to relate business concepts not only to business, but to every aspect of your life. Of course, through the lens of law of assumption, through the lens of being it, through the lens of that you already have it, through the lens of realization that it's all a game, but we do want to win at the game because it's why we came. Before we start, ladies and gentlemen, I just want to invite you, if you have not subscribed to the channel, it is a growing community of master manifestors. We are people who are constantly striving to learn, striving to evolve in our lives, and striving towards what we call on this channel rapid lifestyle transformation, which is making you free from a boss and a job, giving you control over your schedule, and making you the crafter of your own destiny to create masterpieces. So please do hit the subscribe button below. Not only will you join this community and get alerts to all of our videos, you'll be helping us get the word out. And that is a very important thing in the times in which we live. We're living in very unstable, uncertain economic times. If you watch the news every day, you see every day some kind of catastrophe, whether social, political, military, or economic, and we have discussed that in other previous videos, but what we focus on this channel is getting you principles that you can apply to your daily life. So I will give you a second to subscribe to the channel. Thank you very much for subscribing. We do appreciate that, and with much love and appreciation here. So today I want to discuss a topic that we have touched on in previous videos, but new light and impetus was shined on it from our fortuitous communication with a great mentor and a great author of business. Over the weekend, I did communicate with the great Mirza Jawahar Beg, who is now a viewer of this channel, and we had several very fruitful discussions. And I was rereading some of his works that I read in my 20s, and that basically got me started in consulting, got me started in learning the basics of business, and it had a large part in bringing me to where I am today, where I can serve others. And I was reading through again this book. It's called An Entrepreneur's Diary, and we're going to be doing a video about it, and I'm going also to be writing a review on it. It is just a treasure trove of aphorisms, of experiences, of stories from the life of the great business consultant from India, Mirza Jawahar Beg. Not only is he a business consultant, he's also a religious scholar in the Islamic faith, which ties in perfectly with the missions that we have in this channel of relating the topics of spirituality and mysticism to daily life. But the copy, as you can see, is well worn, and it has notes throughout the copy. I would highly recommend that you get this book. But specifically today, what we want to talk about in this video is negative thinking in contributing to the creation of what you want in your life. That's right. Much is made of positive thinking, but not enough is made of the power, the force, and the benefit of negative thinking, of actually going in and listing the worst case scenarios. And Mirza Jawahar Beg commented on one of our videos, I think the second to last one that we made, and he commented on this paradigm of negative manifesting. And I just want to read that to you. And it's going to set the tenor for what we're going to discuss here in the rest of the video. So what he said in response to our video was, that's the challenge. And I believe he was talking about two videos. The first one was the 3 steps to manifesting, which we discussed. He said, that's the challenge. Which are the 3 things which are game changers? Prioritization is everything. Believe me, I teach the same thing in business. I ask, what are the 3 things in the near future that can put you out of business, and what's your plan to deal with them? 3 is the magic number. There are several gems in this comment, but the one that I wanted to focus on tonight was, you ask yourself when you're starting a business, what are the 3 factors that could cause me to go out of business, and then you get to work solving those. Now, many a law of assumption, law of attraction teacher is going to say, no, that's getting negative, and you don't want to focus on the negative because that's what you're going to bring into your life. But remember, what do we know from the chart of the scale of being that we discussed in the beginning of the channel, and that I do bring up incessantly in our videos, is that there's no separation. Because everything is one at root, because divinity is one, and there is divinity, and the spark of divinity is within everything. Therefore, duality is only something that arises when an observer and an observed is set up. But that is all already in the illusion. Therefore, there's no duality. So there's no or yes. And as the great Abraham Hicks incessantly says, the universe does not hear no, it only hears that. That's the first aspect. So it doesn't matter if you're couching it in negative terms or couching it in positive terms, you're still focusing on the thing. And now here is where the rubber meets the road, so to speak. If you're going into business, there are 2 basically modalities at which you can approach this. The first one is the one that was taught about by the great Koch, who was an investment banker, a venture capitalist. We discussed his interview with Tim Ferriss a few weeks ago. And he said that he only focuses on, when he's journaling about his businesses, wild and massive success. If you can do that, that's the best way to go. Just focus on success and keep tunnel visioning that, and you will get there. What a lot of us do, due to training, due to lack of faith, due to our internal programs, is that our subconscious mind always goes to what could go wrong. And even when we're trying to focus on the positive, oftentimes it's a losing battle because we're still thinking subconsciously what could go wrong. So we're vibrating around what could go wrong. So it doesn't matter if we're speaking positively, if we're trying to think positively, if our internal vibration is on what could go wrong. And you'll know this by your emotion. If you have a hint of negative emotion, if you have a hint of worry, if you have a hint of apprehension about your business or your venture, then you'll know that your subconscious mind is focusing on that. So the first rationale behind this is that you're thinking about this anyway. You're just suppressing it. So better just to get it all to the surface. Even Abraham Hicks talks about this. She says, let's get it all on the table. Let's just say what we're fearing and state it, because then we can actually put it on the table and do something about it. So what we do is we say, okay, we get very rational and very logical, and that already helps soften the emotion. It's the emotion that we're going for here. So instead of a nebulous worry, we simply start writing, okay, what is the worst case scenario? As Mirza Jawahar Beg said, okay, what are the 3 things that could take my business out? It's interesting that Tim Ferriss also talks about this in speed learning, or in rapid learning. One of the aspects of rapid learning, if you want to rapidly learn a topic, is to list all of the things that could go wrong in your application of whatever topic you're trying to learn. Then learn how not to fall into that. Don't you see that then you're making failure almost a non-possibility by doing that? So many of the greats talk about this. The great Eliyahu Goldratt, who is the founder of Theory of Constraints, says that the first thing that he does with his clients is list what he calls the UDEs, the undesirable effects. He says, because everybody is good at bitching and moaning. Excuse our language, but that's the language that he uses. And that's right, because that's all in most of our subconsciouses. Now, as we become better manifestors, as we become better and more adept at focusing, we can only focus on the positive. And then, even the focusing on the negative sometimes is fun because it's a game. And this is all about playing the game. So, as the great Mirza Jawahar Beg said, Focus on the 3 things that could take you out of business. When you do this and you journal about it, you can then formulate a plan of action. So if this happens, this is what I'm going to do. You can also formulate a plan of proactive action, and you can start to take actions that will catch your enemy off guard, that will catch your competition off guard. We talked about that a few videos ago. By doing the unexpected, by breaking the rules, so to speak, you can catch these undesirable effects and your competition off guard. So journal about it. And how do we apply this to rapid lifestyle transformation? Because rapid lifestyle transformation is not totally and specifically about business. Oh yes, you will be formulating a business or some kind of commercial enterprise, some kind of economic enterprise, however small that may be, to get you independent from a job and a boss. And in the videos coming up, we're going to show you how much easier that is than you think, because you need a lot less than you think. You can live on a lot less than you think and be free in your schedule, and then have the mental energy to create even more wealth and to manifest whatever it is that you want. But in this, you can apply this to every aspect of what you're trying to do. Getting a homestead, for example. Well, what are the 3 things that can go wrong with me getting a homestead? Well, perhaps I made a bad choice about the area. Perhaps I get the house and it's falling apart. Or perhaps I can't get financing to get that house. Then you journal about what the solutions may be. Now, note, you don't have to know rationally what the solutions will be. What we teach in this channel is to depend more on your intuition, depend more on your right brain, and then allow those answers to come. The very act of journaling and sitting there with a blank piece of paper, handwriting it, will start to prime your pump to be able to receive answers from the universe. And some of the answers that you receive may seem to have nothing to do with what you're writing about. They do, because all of it's connected in this vibrational nexus. So whatever you're vibrating, you're going to be getting things from the ether, so to speak, according to your vibration. So you will be getting information that's going to help you, and if you feel you should act on that, act on it. And that's how to start accessing your right brain, start accessing your intuition. Remember, negative thinking is a great tool and strategy for manifesting, because once you get it out there, then you're going to feel the relief of having it on paper. You're going to feel the relief of having thought out solutions to that. And then once you get to that state of neutral, ladies and gentlemen, this is the true goal of all this. The true goal of all this is not to solve everything that could go wrong, because you can't do that, because you have no idea what could go wrong. You're simply silencing your mind by putting out there the false narratives and bogeymans that the rational mind is generating and the subconscious is generating. You're putting it out there and you're putting those to rest. Then you get into that state of neutral. And when you're in that state of neutral, I have a secret for you. All of the great New Thought authors like Neville Goddard, Abraham Hicks, and others say, feel what you would feel if you had that. How would you feel if you had anything? Well, you'd feel elation and so on and so forth for a short time. But Neville Goddard even said it's not this feeling of elation that you're going for, because that's fleeting. That's a temporary feeling. See, all of the feelings and emotions really don't matter because they're temporary. What matters is the observer of that. And when you observe those, there's going to be a time when all of those become quiet. And then when those emotions become quiet, that is the feeling of the wish fulfilled. It's the emptiness, it's the nothingness, it's the neutral, and from that neutral, guess what happens? New desires and new contrasts come in. So neutral is the state to get all that you want, and everything that you want will flow in when you're neutral, at the time that it's appropriate to flow in. And second of all, this proves that it's about the journey, because when you get everything that you think you want, you're going to have that free space, and you're going to use that free space to create more and to expand, and that's why you came. So this is the secret. Get into that state of neutral. You don't have to worry about any more techniques, because you'll know that you already have everything that it is that you desire. So remember, apply the negative and the positive in every tool that you can that helps you to this game of manifestation. And I promise you, the universe does not know the difference between positive and negative. All it sees is what you're vibrating. So, ladies and gentlemen, this week we have a lot of interesting videos coming up about the details of business, about the details of getting independent from a job and a boss within 6 months to a year, and about general law of assumption and law of attraction issues that are going to deliver a power punch to all of your manifestations and to your life. I am doing coaching calls, ladies and gentlemen. You can accomplish more in weeks than most people accomplish in years by applying the principles that I've learned in my years of consulting and years in business. I will put my email in the description. Again, if you find value in these videos, subscribe and like to our channel so that you can join this community of master manifestors. Until tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen, with great love and appreciation, this is Javier from The Real Javier Novoa. I'll see you soon.